Yes, yes, yes. It's the Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And we are live. Okay, let me show my face. Where's my face? Where's my face? My face is missing. That's not good. Okay, it's Boxing Talk with Raphie. It's a special one. We got a special guest. I'm very honored to share the special guest with you today. Honored that he would accept coming on. Didn't give him a hell of a lot of notice, but what can I say? It's Pat Barratt. Some of you old boxing heads will know that he was a ex-champion, light welterweight, British champion, light welterweight, European champion, and he contested at the highest level when he went up to welterweight and fought for the world championship. So, you know, this guy knows his stuff, and he's been very gracious enough to accept the invitation. And what can I say? There's nothing more to say. Let's bring the man in himself, Mr. Pat Barratt. How do you do? How are you doing? All the way from up there in Manchester down here to Birmingham, out to the world. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
That's awesome. So this is Pat Barratt. Remember, guys, you can get your questions in. Put your questions in the chat. Okay, let me just go through a few of the comments in here so far. Okay, it's Pablo Diablo. Big up the Don Dawkins. Big up yourself, Pablo. Raph on the Road was a good look. Yeah, people like that interview. That was with Xavier Miller. Very enjoyable. That was last week or this week. That was last Tuesday, I think, or Tuesday. Okay. EJ Live is up in the building. Yes, EJ. And the James Jameson. Bet Steve Bunce is never late. Hey, I wasn't late. I was on time this time. Okay. So let's get into it. So we got Pat Barratt. Pat Barratt, talk to us about the weekend. You had a hell of an eventful weekend. Just free flow. Go with it, Pat. Over to you. Tell us about the experience.
Well, the experience, it's no different from what I've been through before, you know, as far as getting kids ready for the highest level. Back in the day, I did a similar thing when Robbie Reed boxed a fighter called Henry Wharton, a very good, enjoyable opponent. And I remember saying to Robbie that this is the way he had to beat Henry Wharton, and he did it behind a good left jab. I remember Brian Hughes always telling me that it's a jab that wins the fight. It opens the door. It's the master key. And, you know, most people will use a jab as a rangefinder to set up big punches, or you can use it as a weapon. Yeah, and, you know, I teach all my fighters to use the left jab as a weapon, as well as it opens up. You can set up shots off that left jab. And that's what Lyndon did. And he boxed him away. He boxed himself to 12 rounds. Got the decision, got the win. LD, I can't say it was a robbery. It's beyond me. It's bear in mind, we was the biggest underdogs. We was also treated like the challenger. We was never once treated like the champions when we were down there. We was, you know, you got two Frank Warren fighters. We was also in the away corner. So there was nothing. The only thing I refused about the whole situation that we was going to come out first. You know, we're champions. At least give us that little bit of respect.
Yes, 100%. You were the champions. I have to remind people, Lyndon Arthur and his trainer Pat Barratt. You know, they're the champions. They're going in the champions. So you know, certain amount of you'd expect to be treated as champions, but we knew that with Yard's profile, being the higher profile guy. We knew, and being Frank Warren's guy, you know, we didn't have to be there to know that it was going to be a tricky situation. Okay, so you get down there. You were fully confident before the fight that Lyndon Arthur was going to beat Anthony Yard, and he was going to do it behind the jab. Is that true or false?
Do you know what? I was fully confident the first time we signed with Frank Warren about this fight, and Frank Warren will tell you himself, it was nothing because no disrespect towards Anthony Yard, not in any way. I honestly believe if you're going to be the best, you might as well fight the best as from now. Because how are you going to know if you're going to go anywhere? And when we first signed with Frank Warren, and in Frank Warren's office, I asked Frank for this fight because I heard about this Anthony Yard. And I think around about the time he was, you know, he was probably like something like probably about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 0. You know what I mean? And, you know, he was doing well then. And I asked for that fight then. And Frank, you know, kind of didn't acknowledge it to that, as if to say, well, why now? Kind of thing. You know, he must have had his own intentions to build this into a good fight, like we did do, like what he did do then. But I wanted the respect for us to be treated on a level, because I just don't think that, you know, ever since we was there, we never got that rightful respect. Lyndon's only boxed so many times on TV, you know, got the big outings out, and Anthony was marketed there, did everything there, he had everything, the sponsorship, you know, we didn't have nothing, we just come there as simple champion, you know what I mean? It's just like how you have chicken and rice, and then you have English chicken and rice. You know, we was like the English chicken and rice with no seasoning or nothing, man. We was just dry, we was bland.
Oh no, they gave you the English. They gave man the English chicken and rice. Seasoning free.
You know what I'm
Seasoning free.
Just, probably just throw a little bit of jerk seasoning on top.
They throw some. What's my man's name again? The Dragon's Den guy. Oh, they showed some. What is it? Something reggae sauce. They threw a little bit of reggae sauce on top and thought that.
Oh yeah. Just that's a little bit of it. Yeah, that was us. We was bland, man. We did. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so everybody thought that we wasn't gonna do nothing, but
yeah, I totally hear that. Yeah,
but now it's like we've come down there, and as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I don't know if like I said, you've seen the fight, and everybody's got their own verdict on the fight. If the fight would have come to say, oh, we lost it, we would have just hit humble pie and got on. I would have put on a few shows, put Lyndon back out there. He had nothing to be ashamed of. You know, he lost the fight on points. It was expected for him, but it didn't. And what they got to realize, you got to give credit where credit is due. Lyndon went down and he put on a great performance. He put on a great display of boxing. I don't care if people liked it or they say it was this, it was that. We won the fight, yeah, and we won it single-handedly, yeah. And Lyndon that night was the lion tamer, yeah. And also, I mean, Lyndon was a wounded animal and he never got finished. You know what I mean? And bear in mind, this, you know, this he had what, 20-odd fights, 19 knockouts. Yeah. Mate, it's a remarkable record. I don't care what anyone says. That record's enough to fear anybody.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So you get, So you get down there. You didn't get the respect you deserved as champions. But obviously, you know, the equalizer's in the ring. So, you know, get them in the ring. So you got in the ring and talk me through your strategies. You're in the first round now. You want to feel out the guy. You want to implement your strategy. Do you want to implement your strategy straight away, or do you want to assess what the other guy's bringing?
I wanted to assess because boxing's unpredictable. And when you've got a puncher like Anthony Yard, we don't know how he's going to start the fight. He could come out there, rush out there and think, you know what, I'm going to take this jab off him. He's capable. He's capable of knocking you out. That's what I do know. So my thing with Lyndon was keep distance. Yeah. Every time he come, take that half a step back for the jab, keep him at bay. Every time, don't move back in a straight line. Keep going at angles. Keep going side to side. Go this way, go that way, step back, feint. Get a rhythm about your work and just keep that rhythm flowing all the way through. Because that way, it makes it very hard for you to read. It makes you very unpredictable to when you're going to strike, to when you're going to... So basically, he was punching up the movement and he was doing everything that was expected from him. You know, sometimes he'd throw that lazy jab where Yard would try and counter it with that right hand. I insisted to Lyndon, stop putting that lazy jab out, son, because he's looking to come over with that right hand. Everyone, it's a natural thing. If someone carrying the left hand low, you're gonna throw the right hand or come back with the left up. But Lyndon, the way Lyndon was offsetting him with the jab, it wasn't just throwing the jab. Even when he threw the lazy jab, he would move out. It was offsetting him, so he couldn't find his range in order to throw his right hand or his own left up because other opponents have stood in front of Yard and allowed themselves to get hit. Okay, and that's what makes him quite deceptible at what he does. That's what makes him very good at what he does. Because if you stand there with Yard, he will knock you out. I know that. Yeah, and that's one thing I said to Lyndon: do not stand. So Lyndon's strategy and his game plan, it worked to a T. He didn't even have to do anything. He just stuck to the same thing, kept it simple, kept it basic, threw the jab. It was the key was to throw the right hand off the jab because the jab was landed so effectively that he could put the 1-2 in at any time.
Sorry. I was unmuted, but the two got taken away. He used the one, but the two wasn't available due to the injury to the right hand. So
Yeah,
he was
the 2 wasn't available because, like I said in the past, I don't think it was more physical. I think it was more mental, where he hurt the right hand, and it just didn't allow him to throw it the way he should have thrown it. And that was in the warm-up session in the changing rooms. And the leakage on Lyndon hurting his hand was that Tunde obviously had got it off somebody that Lyndon had hurt his hand because when I listened to it, I listened to the corner work. And he said, don't quote me on this. The fact that he said, don't quote me on this. Yeah, if he knew that Lyndon had hurt his hand, so therefore somebody had come over and said, Lyndon has hurt his hand, put it on him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So Lions in the camp, Spy in the camp. Seems like they had someone feeding them. Seemed like they had someone feeding them the information that they should theoretically they shouldn't have had.
No, I mean it just shows that everybody wanted us to get beat because that even if that did hear that, why would somebody go over to say do that? Do you know what I mean? It's not nobody else's business. Yeah, and to be quite honest with you, I'm mentioning no names. I know who it was because when you watch it and everybody can watch the fight back, there isn't that many people in the crowd anyway. Yeah, so you can see who's saying what and whatever, and that's how dumb some people are. You know what I mean? They're stupid. Yeah, they're so stupid. It's unreal. But it didn't pay off. It nearly got him knocked out actually because he had to come out to set about Lyndon. Lyndon threw the right hand anyway, and he timed it perfectly.
Yeah. Okay, so how did so we're going through the rounds, we're progressing through the rounds, and Lyndon's using the jab, round after round, backing up, using the jab. How did you think the judges were scoring the fight? Okay, so we're going up to what the 9th, the 10th round. Okay, up to the 10th round. How did you think that you were doing on the scorecards? Bearing in mind, you're down south, you're from north, you're down south, the thing's geared to go a certain way, and you're intent on spoiling the party. How did you think the judges were scoring the card up to the 10th round?
I don't know that because boxing is unpredictable. I would never told Lyndon to change anything, do anything different from what he was doing. Yeah, he was in cruise control. Okay, he didn't even need to get out of out of gear. He was in cruise control, and he was working the jab, and it was working smoothly, and it was working nicely. So I'm not going to disrupt it. All I'm saying to Lyndon is bang the jab in. Don't throw the jab, bang the jab in. Yeah, bang it and put beef on the jab. That's all I kept saying to Lyndon. Put beef on the jab. Yeah, and don't stand with him. Do not stand with him because he's looking. Because when someone's behind in a fight, they're sending him out, to go out. And why do you think he came out? Because he needed that 12. He needed to finish big, and he did win the 12th round. I'm not going to take nothing away from him. He did win the 12th round. Yeah, And as much as I thought Lyndon was winning it by a wider margin than I thought, there was rounds in that fight that I'd say Yardy stole, because Lyndon did take his foot off the gas for a little bit. And every time I said to Lyndon, listen, you can't get lazy with these kids, son. You got to stay switched on. You got to stay focused. Come on now. Let's get it back. And then he'd come back up there and he'd zip it up and he'd be working again and, he'd be doing everything that it took to win a fight. And you can't take nothing away from Lyndon. Yeah, and Anthony Yardy's got to say, you know what, I'll take my hat off to Lyndon. He won the fight. Yeah, however it is, because if that's how he fights, yeah, he was waiting because they believed that they would knock Lyndon out, be it be round 10, be it be round 12. But they were looking for a knockout. And by the time the fight finished, there was no knockout. They let it go. They let it slip through the fingers. They give it away. We was there. We did what we had to do. Yeah, we didn't underestimate anybody. If anything, I gave him great some respect and I made sure Lyndon worked for this fight. And I mean worked. To the point where Lyndon threw the towel in him and said, you know what, Pat, I just want to fight. I just want to fight. I just want to fight. And when a fighter tells you that now he just wants to fight, it means he's done all the hard work. He's just ready to fight. Because the fighting becomes easy. The circuits, the getting up, the running on the steps, the sprints. You know what I mean? There's so many wild runs and the timing and the circuits in the gym and the pad works and the constantness of doing 50 minutes non-stop, 43 minutes non-stop, 60 minutes non-stop. Do you know what I mean? It was all non-stop work for Lyndon because he needed to be pushed and dragged because this fight was going to be a tough fight. That the fight turned out to be a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Wow.
And no disrespect again, because that gives credit to us and for Lyndon for how we prepared for Anthony Yarde. Yeah, I was prepared for a really tough fight. Really tough fight. And we worked overtime. But the movement, the angles, the distancing, the left jab, the feints, everything, all Lyndon's experience come together and it was cooked up in a pot. Look, Anthony Yarde just looked like an average fighter. You wouldn't think that was a fighter that had 20 odd fights and 19 knockouts. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You watch what Anthony Yarde does to somebody else. I feel sorry for the next person that fights Anthony Yarde because he's taking it out on them.
You say you feel sorry for the next.
If they're thinking, look.
Yeah. You say you feel sorry for the next person who.
I'm sorry. What?
You say you feel sorry for the next person who fights Anthony Yarde. So, are you telling me that you are not going to be the next people to fight Anthony Yarde? Because I heard there was a rematch clause.
Listen. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, this is our time to shine now. Okay, right? Why you tell me this? How does this work? How does the champion give the challenger a rematch? It's unheard of. Yeah. Even if Lyndon says, I'll fight him again, why would he not say he's going to fight him again? He'll fight him again, but he'll fight him again at our time. Okay? At our time. You've had your time to shine. You've had your limelight. You've made money out the game. Now move over now. It's our time. You go do something else. Go and win something else. We'll come and we'll meet you and we'll fight you and we'll challenge you. We're not disrespecting you, but don't disrespect us even in the interview. You shushed Lyndon up, you pushed him out the way, and we was humble. No disrespect. We're cool. We come in the dressing room. I respected you. I hugged you. I put my arm around you. Said, I know you can come back from this, and I wish you all the best. And I told you, look, there's going to be a rematch. Nothing now to do with Lyndon. It's to do with Pat Barratt. Yeah, I'm his trainer. I'm his manager. I've promoted him. Yeah, I've got him where he is today. Yeah, I ain't done all this to jump back into an hard fight. This hard fight we prepared for, we won. Yeah. Now let us have our time. Yeah. Let us have our time and our moment to shine. He knows what it's about. You fought for the world title. Yeah. We just won the WBO. That puts us to fight for the world title. Why do we want to throw everything away just to satisfy you? Come on, man.
World
that don't
exclusive.
Work. This is what I'm trying to say about how people stay, man.
World exclusive. No rematch right now. Rematch when the championship side decide it's time for a rematch. You're in the WBO.
Yeah, if you want to do a rematch, build it. No, build it. If they want to give a rematch, build it. Build it into what it should be. Like this was built to be one of the best fights ever. That everybody around social media, everybody around probably the world, everybody around the country looked into this fight. They tapped in. Why? Most of them tapped in because they're thinking, now this Manchester boy is going to get beat. This kid had no chance. Never mind winning a point and saying that he got robbed. How can you get robbed when you've got no chance? Even the bookies didn't have you at any odds. Come on.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke, man. It's an embarrassment. Not even a joke. It's an embarrassment. Stop the crying, man, and stop the bitching and stop the whinging. This is a man's sport. Yeah. You can't start crying about this and crying about that. We've not disrespected you. We've not robbed you. We was given the decision.
Yeah.
We was given the decision.
Yeah. So there was a rematch clause, but you guys are heading. What's your next move? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go?
You know what? See what I want to do now. My aim is, I'll sit down with Frank and I'll talk with Frank and I'll go way back with Frank. And, I hope that Frank's got the graciousness and the respect to listen to what I have to say, which I think he would do. And like I said, I'm not saying this rematch is never going to take place because I think Anthony Yards can come back a better fighter than this. You know what I'm saying? Because there isn't going to be many fighters in this country that can beat an Anthony Yards. He is a talented fighter. I just don't agree with all this lying in the camp because it works and it's hype because it's gas. I'm not that kind of a bravado guy. I don't rise to that kind of occasion. I don't fear nothing in life. Okay. I mean, victory is victory. Okay. And one thing I do is respect people, and they should give us the respect to say, you know what, listen, man, you've won it. Okay, you've got the decision. But I don't know why they're going to cry and keep saying, now we got robbed, you didn't win it, you didn't get the decision. Listen, go back, watch it yourself, analyze it, and go over it. And if you think you got robbed, then more fool they are to think that. Because I don't think they got robbed. I think the fight was a close fight. If I'd say a close fight, it was a close fight. If I say it was a 50-50 fight, it was a 50 fight. But at the end of the day, we got the decision and we got the outcome, and you never knocked us out. You were saying too much, we're going to knock him out. You're going to knock this Lyndon out. Tundi's on the phone in the gym. Yeah, someone telling me about his talk about you. What Daddy's going to knock Lyndon out. He's going to knock him cold out. Yeah, you're an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment because you didn't knock nothing out. Yeah, you didn't knock nothing out. It's a humiliation. You didn't knock nothing out. We're still here now and we're talking. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And I never say I'm going to knock out Yard because you want to know why? I give him the respect. Yeah. Yard is a good fighter. Tunde is a good trainer. But unfortunately, it was our night. Yeah. We had a game plan. We stuck to it. Yeah. And we executed it and we came away victorious.
Yes. Okay. So, what would ideally be in an ideal world? What do you guys want? How do you see the next couple of fights? If you can share that with us.
You know what? At the moment, I'm just, like I said, until we sit down and we the team talks and we all talk. At the moment, I'm just going back in the gym, doing what I normally do. Hopefully getting ready for the shows next year to start putting shows on and get the next generation that I've got coming through. Up to now, I haven't got nothing to say about what we're going to do next because I don't know what we're going to do next. I'm just going to leave Lyndon to enjoy the moment, walk around Manchester and feel like the underground king that's just been crowned.
Yes. Okay, so at this stage, you're just going to pop into the chat and get a few questions from the people. Okay, see what they're saying before we move on. Raphie with the exclusive. Pat was very gracious to accept the invitation. Thank you very much to Pat. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button to the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Okay, Exhibit Eugene up in the building. Shiz Biz up in the building. What's going on here? Where's the question? Where's the question? Where's the question? Is there a rematch clause, Pat?
Is there a rematch clause?
Yeah.
Probably is.
Probably is. Okay. Well, Iron Kong says, get that Boatsi match room Mo night. How you feel about that, Pat? How do you feel about that match room Mo night?
Do you know what it is at the moment? Like I said, like I'm looking now to give Lyndon the exposure and to build him and to give him the creditable fights and to get more fights under his belt for more experience. And then whatever comes after that, you see, I'm slowly moving him along because I promoted him before I bought him. I bought him a ready-made fighter. Okay, he was something like 8-0 when I bought him to Frank. Yeah, off my expense. Okay, he boxed on Backlash Promotion Show, which is me. Okay, right, and the same with Zelfa, my nephew. Yeah, and they're both Commonwealth champions. Yeah, and one he's IBF, Intercontinental and Commonwealth. Okay, his cousin Lyndon Arthur is now Commonwealth and WBO Intercontinental. So they're both on the rising. These are fighters that I train myself from nothing, from scratch, into champion, and many more to come. Okay, so when we're talking where we're going to go, it's a slow process. Everybody wants everybody to do something quick. Yeah, it's just the same way. I think Daniel Dubois was well rushed too soon. I think Daniel Dubois is a very good heavyweight, and he'll come back again. No discredit to Joyce. Joyce did was a good fight. It's sometimes everybody wants everything from people too quick. Oh, they're doing this. Me, it's not about what TV wants. It's about what I want. Okay, right. The return between Arthur and Yard, it wouldn't make a good fight again. Okay, right. Everybody expected this fight to be, it's going to be an explosive, it's going to be a cracker, it's going to be this. They both can punch. I knew it wasn't going to be like that because how I school Lyndon is to box, have a good defense. So you've got one person who's a puncher and you've got one person who's a masterful boxer. Yeah, if that puncher can't hit that boxer, then it's not going to be the fight that you expect it to be because Lyndon ain't staying going toe-to-toe with him. But I think the second time round, once Yard had a couple wins back under his belt, win a couple of titles, build that fight up, and I think he's got a point to prove. Yeah, I think he'll be coming out there with vengeance. Yeah, I think Lyndon will got a bit more experience. Yeah, and I think he'll learn how to deal with him again in a different way. Yeah, and I think that's what will make an explosive fight. That's what will make a cracker because Lyndon ain't going nowhere for now. I'll tell you that now. And by the time Lyndon comes to fight him again, he'll still be undefeated. Okay? And he'll still have them 2 blemishes on his record, what we know about. Yeah. So if he couldn't beat Lyndon now, how is he going to beat him? How is he going to beat him the second time? And that's for Yard to not Yard. That's for Tunde to say, because it's not Yard that I'm up against, it's Tunde. How are you going to beat me again, Tunde? You couldn't beat me the first time, and you sure as hell won't beat me a second time. Because my instructions and your instructions are 2 different instructions. Yeah, I don't shout nonsense. I give valuable instructions to my fighter. Yeah, I'm not interested about lying in the camp because he ain't no real lion. Yeah, it's a man in the camp and it's 2 men in the camp and you got intelligence in the camp. Yeah, and you got man's family in the camp. Yeah, and how I feel about my family is deep. I'm making sure that he does his work constructively. So forget all the bravado and the hype, yeah, and not all the rearing up, because that don't win fights. It might have got you this far, but you're going to come unstuck one day. You came unstuck, and nobody's got nothing to say. Yeah, and I don't care what anybody says about anything. This is how it stands. Yeah, and the rematch should be given when we say it should be given, not when it's this, and this, and this, and that, because I don't understand that. Yeah. How many times have you ever known a champion to give a challenger a rematch?
It's unheard of. It's unheard of.
Okay, thank you. That's all I want to know. We were the champions. Yeah, we are the defending champions. You got nothing. You coming to get a title from us. We beat you. We win. Right, you're meant to move along. Say, okay, but why if I say, look, if you say to Lyndon, will you fight him again? Lyndon will say, yeah. Why are you not going to say yeah? If Lyndon would have lost and you said to Lyndon, do you want a rematch? Lyndon would have said yes, right? But if we would have lost, do you think we would have got the rematch? And we are the champions? Hell
Nope.
no.
Nope.
Hell no. We wouldn't have got the rematch because he would have went on to fight the world title because the WBO is vacant. Yeah? And they wouldn't have given us the rematch. But how does that work if we're the champions? We're the champions, so we meant to have the rematch. And they wouldn't have got it. It would have been pushed to one side. And that's the heartbreaking thing about it. Get over it.
Okay, so at the end of the fight, it was a very, very animated scene. The interviews, they were doing the interviews, and Yard came in very, very animated. I think there was some shouting or something. Somebody mentioned in the chat there was some shouting or something.
I don't know about nothing like that. I can't remember if there was.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
If there was any, there was no abusive shouting anyway.
No,
I mean,
no.
Yard, as far as I'm concerned as a fighter, he was very respectful. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't I was just at the end really where I just found it a little bit disrespectful to not let the champion talk when he had his opinion of the fight. And like Lyndon said, look, listen, hey, you know, if he would have lost it, it would have been okay. It was a close fight. You know, he wouldn't have been. It was humble. Yeah, Lyndon was a humble guy. He was a confident guy, but he was humble. He was humble before, and he was humble after.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I speak on the behalf of Lyndon and say, Lyndon, why would you want the rematch? It's your time to move on. Yeah, and this is why I went into Anthony's room and Tunde's, and I said, look, I'm not going to give Lyndon a rematch, and I don't think he should because at the end of the day, it's his time to shine, and I think he should do something now. And you know, I know that Anthony can come back in a greater way than anything. You know, he's not a washed-up fighter. He's not a finished fighter. I just know it's just styles make fights, and you know, we want to move on and do something else, yeah, and get more experience and learn the game even more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. Ring IQ, Xavier Miller up in the building. How you doing, Xavier? Good to have you up in here, my friend. Okay, let's get into some of these questions. Get your questions in, folks, and don't be afraid. If you're enjoying the show, to smash that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Hit the share button. Share it on your all social media platforms. Okay, where are we? Okay, Big Boys Boxing asks, was there anything wrong with Arthur's right hand?
Yeah, it was done on the pads in the dressing room before, but as Lyndon said, he's not going to make no excuses. I think it was more mental than it was physical. You know, in the dressing rooms, the change rooms when we was warming up, he threw the right uppercut as I was showing him how to counter, and he just didn't want to throw the right hand again from there. So, but like I said, we're not going to make no excuses. And even if there wasn't, and he won that fight with one hand, it just says a lot about him. So if that was the fight with one hand, it's going to be different with two hands.
Yeah. Okay, there's been some, I don't know if it's flack or whatever, but there's been some comments. I've heard them. I don't know if you've heard them. Well, you know, why just stick with the jab? Why just stick with the jab? But my perspective is if you can win a fight with a jab, just with a jab, then isn't that sensible? Is that not intelligence? If somebody says to you, listen, you can travel from Manchester up to Scotland with half a tank, or you can travel to Manchester up to Scotland and use a full tank. What are you going to do? You're going to use, I don't know. Personally, I would use half the tank. If I have the option of using half a tank or a full tank, are you not going to go for the most economical and effective option?
Yeah, of course. I can see what you mean by that. Yeah, 1,000,000%. I mean, that's why I said to you, I wasn't going to change it and start telling Lyndon to start getting into something and start doing this. You know, if he was behind or I thought he was losing, then I would say, you need to do this, son. You need to. I don't care what it is now. You've got to let the mans go, son. But you know, it wasn't changing, and he was keeping Yard at bay. and the feints and the distancing and the left jab, it was all working. And the threatening with the right hand, even though he didn't throw it. At one time, he only threw one uppercut, which landed in the fight, and it was just right under the chin. And Lyndon is masterful at that right uppercut, masterful. And if he threw that one, I'm sure they could have threw many more. There's a lot of artillery Lyndon's got that he never used, that we worked on in the gym. There's a lot. The left hook to the body, off the jab. When he nails you with that, boy, you fall. I'm telling you. When Lyndon lays that, listen, I put the body pad on, and when I have him jabbing, the speed jab and whip that left hook into the body, I'm telling you, I got this big, thick body pad, and boy, I can feel it. Yeah. And Lyndon didn't even let that go, the way he established it. But then again, there's a lot of things that Lyndon's not used to. The massive occasion. This was a big occasion. Do you know what this was like for Lyndon? It's like stage fright. Yeah. It's like some kid going onto a school play for the first time and getting on stage. Yeah, and he's in the biggest play of his life. Yeah. This is what people don't realize. Yeah, there's all that shit you gotta go through. And Lyndon's not had these big time and these big fights and these bright light TV. He's not used to it. You know what I mean? And this is another thing that we didn't want to. I had to make sure that he had to nurture into it, and I didn't want to push him and pressure him into this. This is what I'm trying to say. I want him to start getting used to these times. Yeah. Okay, so now you're in the big time now. Start getting used to this now. The cameras are going to be on you. It's your time to shine now. This is what you got to do. Let him get used to it. Let him enjoy the moment. And the next time he's in that ring, getting back on TV, you watch him. You'll be like, whoa, is that the same kid that boxed at the yard? It'll be difficult. There's plenty more to come from Lyndon. Plenty more. Heaps of more to come.
Yeah. He did it on half a tank. How are you going to complain about that? He did it on half a tank. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. There's plenty more to come.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. Where are we now? This question may have been asked before, so apologies. Yeah, there was a hand. He hurt his hand in on the pads earlier on. What's going on here? Yard is peeved, but he only has himself to blame. The disrespect he showed after the fight was a bad look. Okay. What's going on here? It doesn't matter. He won with one hand. This is Xavier Miller. Respect to Pat. Lyndon is a good boxer. Yes. What's going on? Respect to Pat J. Hansen. Yeah, so he won one-handed. Yep, one-handed. Congratulations, Pat. Where are we now? What does this say? Yard needs to. Oh no, I'm not going to read that. Yard.
Please do.
I'm not going to try and disrespect anybody. I'm not here to disrespect. No.
Nah, come on, man. You're not doing no disrespect. It's what all the people are saying. We want to hear what people are saying. People have got entitled to have an opinion, even if it was something bad about me. I want to know because I don't care. They're entitled to voice their opinion, brother.
Well, hopefully I'm going to get Tunde on here. Hopefully, I haven't approached him yet, but we got some people in common, so hopefully we're going to approach him for his rebuttal. So I'm only reading this on the basis that he's going to have a chance for his rebuttal. Okay, but he says Yard needs to change trainer. He's wasted talent at this stage. Yard needs to join the likes of Shane McGuigan to fulfill. Shane McGuigan? Hold on a second. You know that what is it, Cyclone? Them guys are always in and out of court with Barry McGuigan, and they're saying that they're taking too much of their money. I don't know about that, bro. But okay. Yard has the power to use some crunk training, I reckon. And you've never been disrespectful about Yard's power, Pat. You've never been disrespectful about Yard's ability.
Nah, man. Listen, I know Yard has got power. Listen to me. I just said this. I know this guy can punch. Yeah. What do you think I worked on keeping my distance? Yeah. As my trainer told me, you can't knock out what you can't hit. Yeah. So I used my experience and my own general knowledge to do things a way, that it's a legacy that Brian Hughes gave me, and I use that same legacy from now on. Every time we're distancing, keep that distance, use that range, use the jab, because as soon as you can hit a man with a jab, you move out, And the half step back would allow a man to miss or fall off
Yeah.
balance or even fall into you.
100%.
So
100%.
I never, of course,
Yeah.
I
Freddie
knew his
Mars.
power was the key. Come on.
Yeah. 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 Freddie Mars
Yeah.
comes through with a donation. Much appreciation for the donation. Make the chat litty, people, if you appreciate the fare. A surprise interview that we're bringing you on a Monday. Starting off the week right. It's Pat, the Black Flash Barratt for some people, some new jacks who don't know who Pat is. Pat was a light welterweight British champion, light welterweight European champion, and fought at the highest level when he challenged for the World Welterweight Championship. Okay, so Pat's got a deep pedigree. Brian Hughes, who was the name of your trainer, Pat? Who was the name of your trainer? Where's your lineage?
Brian Hughes.
Brian. Yeah. So long lineage. This is not somebody who's just talking about it. This is someone who actually did it. And I was watching you back in the day, Pat. I was watching you on, what was it, World of Sport or whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but absolutely good to see
Fight
you
Night
come.
as well. Fight Night was back in the day, yeah.
Fight Night on ITV, I think it was, yeah.
That's the one, yeah.
That's the one. So long lineage, and now you're using that experience that you got, and you've created, clearly you've taken what you've learned and created, molded your own style, and now you are creating champions yourself. How does that feel? How does that feel to make the transition from boxer to trainer and start to create champions?
Once again, I was always told of a great trainer that not always all the great fights make great trainers. So most of the great fighters always want to get the great fighters always trying to get their fighters to do what they could do. Yeah, but in boxing, you've got to analyze. He said, you've got to go in the gym. You've got to look at each fight and you've got to analyze them. Each an individual person is different, and you've got to take what they've got and nurture what they've got to take advantage. Like you might have a kid who's not got fast hands or fast feet. So you will teach him to have a good defense and to have good head movement from the waist. Yeah. And you might have a kid who can't punch, or they say they can't punch, who's got quick hands. You know what I'm saying? So you will teach that kid how to sit on these shots a little bit more in order to turn through and push it. So, me personally, I love it because it's like I said, it's like a kid in the candy shop. There's so many people come with different styles, tall fellas, short fellas. You know what I mean? Punches is what you create. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes. Cornermen got tactics exactly right. Good to see coaches using their head. You got the tactics right. It's a tactical thing. Now, I have to raise this point. Because it's been said to me. Remember, folks, I'm just relaying what's been said to me. I don't know. But what was said to me was that at one point, Anthony Yard was in his corner and he mentioned something about the jab. He can't get past the jab, whatever the jab. He can't get past the jab. And allegedly, I don't know. It was told to me, allegedly by several sources, that the response was lions in the camp.
Well, that must be a code that they must use to open up, or I don't know. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah. It's quizzical. It's a question that's being asked. Ring IQ, IQ Boxing Academy. Sorry, says what's next for Zelfa?
Zelfa is out in February, and on the Josh Warrington undercard is a joint event, like co-event here. On the Josh Warrington undercard in February. That will probably be for the Commonwealth title defense. Probably IBF, Intercontinental. But he's getting on February.
Getting on February. That's what's next for Zelfa. He's a Commonwealth champion as we speak, I believe.
Yeah.
And Iron Kong, all the way from over there in St. Kitts and Nevis, the Caribbean, says, is Lyndon going to head into world level or clean up British level with Boatsi or Callum Johnson?
What, for us?
Yeah. Lyndon. Is Lyndon going to head?
Like I said, I'm not looking no further than where we're at with Lyndon at the moment. Until I sit down and talk with Frank Warren next week when we go and see him, then we can discuss it. I'd love to. I see what it is. I'm not looking at these super big fights now. I think we've earned a spot to be built up a little bit now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And give us that kind of thing. And I think Boatsi a very good fighter. I believe it or not, I boxed Boatsi before in the ABA finals actually. Boatsi got the decision.
Oh, so Lyndon fought him? Lyndon fought Boatsi?
Hey, fought him as an amateur.
Oh, okay. So there's history there.
Yeah, Lyndon had a good amateur pedigree because he started boxing at the age of 17. Yeah, and I schooled him pretty quick, and he ended up getting in the ABA finals twice and boxing for England. We beat English #1, English #2 in them days, and I think Boatsi was seeded #3 or something, and the Boatsi beat us on points. It was a close fight. It was a very good fight. And again, I wouldn't say Lyndon win it, and it was one of them fights. But I like Boatsi. I like Boatsi's style. Boatsi, that's a fight that they should look for. You should even get that Emmanuel, who Lyndon boxed for the Commonwealth. You want to make a point. Don't choose someone like Spellman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go and get that African dude that my man fought, Emmanuel, who Lyndon fought. That was a tough dude, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So where are we? We got got a few more questions for you. There shouldn't be any bad words about you, Pat, or for you. Your boy did a great job. You and your boy did a great job and deserve all the kudos. Absolutely. Totally. You have to give you full credit for what you did. Basically fighting with one hand. EJ Boxing. Great win on Saturday, Pat. Question, what do you think on getting the British belt next?
I think that's something that we would like to do. That's something that it is in our sight, is becoming a British champion. There's levels to this game, innit? We don't want to start looking at world titles and you've not done the British title. You've got to prove that you're the best in your country before you can start looking at the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even looking at the European, things like that. That's what I'm trying to say. We're still learning the game, man.
Yeah.
People want us to do things too quick.
Yeah.
When we get to the top, we want to stay at the top.
But you've got that sensible head because you've been there. So you've got a sensible head on your shoulder.
Yeah, of course.
You're saying, step by step, not, you want to climb the ladder step by step. And in comes man like Phil Fearon. What? Phil Fearon? What? No, Spencer Fearon. Spencer Fearon says, big up, Pat.
Spencer Fearon. Yo, big up Spencer, Big up Spencer. Yeah. My bedroom that,
Yeah, man. Yeah. Spencer's been here before, man. Much appreciation. Spencer Fearon up in the building. Okay. Let's get through some more of these questions. The questions that you got time to stick around for a little bit, Pat? You got time to stick around for a little bit? We got plenty of questions coming in for you. Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what it is? I like the there's a lot more positive than there is negative. So yeah, stick around.
Hey, Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. I don't mess around. People know that if negativity's around, it gets the boot. You know what I'm saying? It gets the boot unceremoniously. I don't mess around with that negativity shiznicks. So people know how to conduct themselves over here, for the most part. What's this say? What's this say here? Well done on winning, Pat. Congrats. Yardi, poor training and tactic. I don't know about poor, Anyway, he just says congratulations. That's the one that I want to say. Yard is like Wilder, a one-trick pony. I don't know. I don't know. What do you say about that, Pat?
You know what? I think Yard will learn a lot from this fight, as well as Lyndon will learn a lot from this fight. And yeah, in one sense, what I don't mean by that is it just can't be expecting to just think that it can knock people out. Is like you said, boxing is about excitement, but it's all kind of entertainment. People like to see flamboyance, good left jab, bring back what people don't see. Knockouts is what's expected. It's how you knock people out. You know what I'm saying? And this is where it gets boring, because now it wasn't entertaining and you didn't do anything what was said. But he can come back from this. Yard shouldn't feel bad about himself. Yard needs to put his head back up, man, and stop. Don't be like the rest of him going on about the loss. Yeah, look past the loss and look at what you can do. Getting past this. And like I said, he's a creditable fighter. He's been a credit in boxing, and he needs to just stop going on about this, because going on about Lyndon Harper fight is making himself look stupid in so many ways, because this is you interviewing me now. This is all these people say congratulations on a good win. Yeah. And this is him saying that he got robbed. Do you know what I mean? You got to look at it and just accept, when you look back and say, you know what, I hold my hands up high. It was a close fight. It could have gone either way. And you know what, Lyndon, congratulations, man. I didn't think you was as good as you was going to be. We've seen something, and you know what, you had this one. And I'll see you again, and we'll fight this again. And I respect that. And then Lyndon with myself was, you know what, as I told you before, you can come back from this and you can really become a champion again. But unfortunately, it wasn't your time that time. It was our time. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's it, really. So, I think I don't think he's anything. I think he's a creditable fighter. I think we beat a good fighter. Yardi is a very good prospect, because if he wasn't a good prospect, we wouldn't have been such big underdogs.
Yes. And Tony Casey says Pat was a beautiful boxer. Fast. What do you mean? Fast asleep? What do you mean? Knock somebody out? I watched him at UQ. Watched him at UQ a few times. Like his style. What's UQ? Was that a gym? UQ?
I think it means your call.
Oh, your call. Okay, your call. Okay. EJ Boxing Live. Pat, what do you think of calling Lyndon the Lion Tamer?
Well, yeah, I called him the Light Saber straight away, but like I said, I don't want to look like I'm making names or mockery of things, because it's not. Because I just think Yardi fought the wrong fight. It wasn't. It was a very. Basically, we stuck to our game plan. We came there with a game plan, and I don't know if they had a game plan. I don't know what their game plan was. I think their game plan was only to knock Lyndon out, because there's one thing that you can never take away from Yard, as he showed in the last round. He's got power. Yeah, he's got power.
Yeah.
I'm fully aware of Yard's power. I am fully aware of Yard's power. I just took the power away from him. Yeah, I moved to the left. I threw the jab, and if it was moving to the right, then I made sure I moved to the right and then moved back to the left and stepped back. I feinted. We stuck to the game plan. And when I said to Lyndon, throw that jab, I worked on banging that jab. Speed jab, and then bang that jab, ram that jab in like a ramrod, ram it in. And that's what I kept saying to him, ram that jab in. Because, I also know that, when Yardi boxed collar off, it was a jab that stopped him. Even though it was exhausting, it's something that's going to play on your mind regardless what. Yeah. And if my fighter got beat that way, the first thing I'll go back to is back to the drawing board. Okay, let's get work on that head movement, son. Yeah. Okay, lack of experience. You got to learn to move that head when you get hit with a jab. Parry the jab or stop the jab. It's like, what are you being taught? These things, you can't just knock people out
all the time.
There's a lot of questions to ask. Going back there, and like I said, I think he has to reset things. Like I said, You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
ain't gonna
yeah,
give nothing much away about how another fighter should be. But like I said, he's got everything about him that says, you know, he's a great marketing fighter, and I can see why Frank and BT took to him. Yeah,
yeah.
because he's got that characteristic about him. He's got that charisma. He's got
Mm,
that look. He's got the style. He comes across well. When he's not being arrogant, he's actually quite a nice guy. Yeah, he's
hmm.
pleasant. I've seen him. You know, I've watched his social media. I see how he comes across, and
Mm,
he's a very nice person. He does help the community. You know,
yeah,
I cannot say a bad way in any other way about him. And now look at
yeah,
Lyndon. So I
mm,
mean, he's been through a lot this year. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you know, you couldn't we it's just the way boxing is, you know, it's not personal, it's just the sport.
yeah,
And they need to stop taking it like it's personal. You know, people want to say, oh, this and they want to say that, but I'm not saying nothing. I just don't like being called something that give credit where credit deserved. I don't like saying we got robbed. How can you get robbed when it was in your town? How can you get robbed when it was your job? We weren't meant to win this. You know what I mean, so
yeah, yeah. But you did. But you did. That's the point. You did. You came in, and no disrespect to the other camp, no disrespect at all. But you won one-handed. You won one-handed. So you know that's something. That's special. That's special. Um, okay, so I don't know. I think we pretty much we've pretty much nailed it, really. If you don't mind, Pat, I just want to talk about your transition from boxing, from being a boxer to becoming a trainer. If you don't mind speaking on that.
no, I mean, if I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna say all three things. I'm gonna say I'm a trainer, promoter, and manager. Okay, that's
Mm,
what I am.
yeah,
Okay, and I'm all these things for one reason. Yeah, because I believe that once I train a fighter and I promote them, yeah, I will take them to the biggest fighters, to the biggest promoter than myself, like Frank Warren, and say, right, I've got this kid, he's 8-0, and he's got his own following. What can we do with him? Because rather than taking a kid and begging someone to put a kid on a show and to try and get them out there, because I've got kids that are good kids that can't sell tickets, and nobody's not going to put them on a show. Yeah, but what I do, because I put on shows in Manchester and then get kids that can sell tickets, it allows them to get a squeeze for a kid that can't sell a ticket, and I will take
mm,
that loss on a kid that can't sell a ticket, but I know he's going to have a bright future. And as far as being a boxer to being a trainer, I started my career as a journeyman, okay? Because I know what that side of boxing is like. Nobody would ever put me on a show because when I turned pro, just after my mother passed away, my trainer said to me, "It's going to be hard, this Pat." I said, "Why is that?" He goes, "Number one, you've got no amateur pedigree. Yeah, you're not no IBA champion, Olympic champion. Number two, you can't sell tickets. And number three, you're a black fighter." And no disrespect when he said this because this was coming from a white man. What I mean by that is you can't sell tickets, you've got no amateur pedigree, and you're a black fighter. And back in them days, it was kind of like how it was. But he
yeah,
goes, "But what I have done, I've got a bit of a plan for you." I said, "What's that, Brian?" He goes, "You have to become a journeyman." Now, at this time, I didn't have a clue what a journeyman was. I said, "What's the journeyman, Brian?" He said, "Cannon fodder." Once again, I thought, what the hell is cannon fodder? He says, "Someone who's there to get beat." So I looked at this man and said, "You want me to get beat?" He goes, "No, I don't want you to get beat, but it's what people expect you to be, is get beat. So here's what we're going to do. I'll turn you pro." He phoned his manager up, he's passed away now, called Tommy Miller. He just had a load of bum fighters that he used to just feed to the lions, okay? And what Brian did, he says, "I need you to be in this gym every day, though, Pat, because that phone will ring and you'll have a fight. It could be anywhere." And he was sure, right. In my first year, I had 12 fights. A lot of fights in 1 year, innit?
yeah,
And then I left that manager and I went to a Scottish one. I was 11. I was 11-1. I only lost one to a kid called Paul Burke, who went on to become a British champion. Right, and then I was undefeated after that. I went in the second year, I moved to Scotland, Glasgow, and I signed up with a guy called Alec Morrison, and then I had 11 fights. I had 12 fights with him. Altogether in 2 years, I had something like 23 fights.
Wow.
Yeah, including becoming Central Area champion and British champion.
Damn.
You know what I mean? I was fighting enough every week.
But winning though.
Yeah, but winning. And that's what gave me the idea when I become a promoter to put on as many shows as possible, to get Lyndon out there busy, to get Zelford out there busy. And it wasn't about getting them fights, it was learning fights. It was about training for these fighters. Even though they were fighting all these journeymen, I'd watch these journeymen and say, right, I want to stop this guy with body shots now because he has his hands up high. And then we work to a plan. I teach my fighters how to work to a game plan from day one. Yeah. So when it comes to big fights like this now, it becomes easier. Yeah, there's not much I have to do with them because the mindset is already set. They're already trained. They're already prepared. They've already got the know-how. It's like teaching the lion how to hunt. No disrespect. It's like teaching the cat how to become you know what I mean? So basically, yeah, it's what I taught him. So Lyndon knows how to use the jab and how to work up the jab. Zelford's got brilliant counter-punching movements and good cat reflexes and fast as hell. I mean, and the other kids that I've got know how to roll and come up and double up to. So you don't see how these fighters. You see what it is. My gym's like Jurassic Park. Okay, I'll take you to a place here where boxing has become extinct. Okay, and you don't see that kind of shit no more. Yeah, you come in my gym, it's like wow. Yeah, man, it's like wow. Every fighter is different. They've all got their own style. They're all unique. You know what I mean? But there's one thing that they've all got is intelligence, respect, and a brain. Yeah, they learn that ring craft. Okay, they all they all watch Lyndon win that fight. My gym come out like watching a kid go into the Rocky, when they first watched the Rocky film, and everybody in the gym. Now they're all like, yeah, now we know what the jab means now. So Lyndon actually showed them how you can win a fight with just the left jab, which I've always told them this. You can mash up your right hand, like what Lyndon did, and you don't have to quit a fight. Yeah, if you've got a good left jab, you can do that. And now everybody believes in it. I think Lyndon just changed boxing again. Because everybody now, when they get in the gym, all these young amateurs are going to be working. You're going to start seeing more jabs in boxing now than you ever did before. It's like a fashion now. Lyndon just unlocked it. Yeah, because it just looked what you could just do with someone like Anthony Hard, who's a dangerous puncher. And my advice and my thing is, don't anybody else try what Lyndon's done with a puncher like that unless you've got good defense. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a suicidal thing to do.
Damn, straight. Now it's funny you're talking about all those fights that you had, because it's a regular feature over here at Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. And by the way, anybody in here enjoying the show, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that share button. Share this interview on all your social media platforms, and don't be shy about making the chat litty. It's funny you're talking about the amount of fights you had, because in days of old, that was routine. It was standard to keep a guy busy. How do you learn to box? Yeah, in the gym, but also by fighting frequently. Intelligent choices, lots of fights, lots of intelligently chosen fights. That's how you refine your craft in fights.
Yeah. I mean, if you ask a fighter today, right, next time ask them how many fights they're getting a year now. They're lucky if they're getting 5 fights a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
lucky if they're getting, most of them will get 3 fights a year. Journeymen now are the only ones that are getting busy. That's why everybody wants to become a journeyman now.
Yeah, that's sad, because then that's why boxers can be so limited, because they're not getting in there, they're not sharpening the tools at the sharp end actually in fights. Whereas man like you had 23 fights in the first 2 years of your career. Now that's unheard of.
Yep. It's like me now. It's like, here's what I do. I put 8 shows on in Liverpool. I put 8 shows on in Manchester. I put 3 shows on in Leicester. And this is all in 1 year. Okay? this is what I'll be doing next year when it's boxing, when we get over this pandemic moment. Okay, I've already got these planned. I've already got the venue. I'm already talking what to do. I make table events, you know, to make it a bit thingy for the first few shows. So you got your social distance on them. I've already been working on this, you know. Once we get in the new office and everything's put down, I've planned the whole lot through and through. Very good.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
mean, so I mean, I'll be able to give the fighters and a lot of other fighters from Manchester area, from the Leicester area, and from the Liverpool area a chance to be fighting regular once again. You know what I mean? Giving them a little contract, little 5-fight contract a year. You know what I mean? You know, it helps them. There's not many people doing that. I've been promoting now for over 5 years. I've lost so much money, but it's been a great journey and it's a worthwhile journey. Bringing Zelfa, Lyndon through, do you know what I mean? And all the other colleagues, the Muslim lads, boxers that are coming through my gym. Do you know what I mean? And it's in my own gym where I used to box years ago. I'm at the same place. Yeah, and it's, as Zelfa and Linda said, working with the same trainer. It's not about changing trainers. Change if you have to. Yeah, if you're not getting nowhere. But people that like, you know, you get more fighters that train trainers like the, you know, the grad more trainers than the flipping Foot Locker.
The fight doctor says, "What's next for Lyndon?" Well, that's a progress thing. We talked about that earlier. Looking to progress him intelligently. Nefertiti Destiny. Oh, Nefertiti Destiny. Hello, Destiny. How are you? Good to see you up in here. That jab was on point by Lyndon. It was that stopped Yard. It's that stopped Yard, stopped him from operating, disrupted his flow, disrupted his rhythm, kept him guessing. How many amateur fights did Lyndon have approximately? He seems very well schooled.
Lyndon had about, I'd say probably just under 50 fights.
Wow.
Amateur fights, including boxing for England and some of them WSB fights.
Yeah, that's good. Why is my thing not allowing me to highlight? Okay, froze for a second. That left hook, a trademark of all of your fighters? Question mark. Like Tito Trinidad. Is that left hook a feature of all your fighters, a feature of your jab, or is that it's an individual thing?
As an individual, I think Zelfa's developed it the best, and I think Lyndon developed it really good to the body. Lyndon, this is what I'm trying to say. No one not seen Lyndon, you know. Did not see Lyndon. Lyndon's left hook to the body is ruthless. I'm telling you, man, he'll knock a horse out.
Okay, so what's going on here? Pat, why can't he? Kenny T says, Pat, why can't he look at, say, Jonathan Banks, whom he has worked with, good British and European fighters, and can bring American feel and structure to his training? Does he need an American? Does Yard need an American to train him?
You know what? I'm not going to say nothing on that. I'm going to have no comment because it's not for me to comment. I just listen. They just got the fight wrong. They just got the fight wrong, and any trainer can do that. So I mean, anybody can make a mistake. I think it's just about communicating and working together rather than, you know, that hype thing is good. It's been really good. Yeah, but they're going to realize, hey, let's change this now. This line in the camp it's not intimidating. You know what I mean? If you don't fear lions, I love them. I don't fear them. You get me?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, stroking the lion's mane.
Let me show you my lion. This is my look. This is my lion in the camp. Say hello. This is my one in the camp.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I don't know. I honestly think we've answered. I think you've answered every damn question that was thrown at you. I think the message, the overall message is put some respect on Lyndon Arthur's name. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
Being on this show, it's just opened my eyes to a lot of things. every question has been an intelligent question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm trying to say, there's not one person who said, well, do you not think the fight was close? You know, I thought Lyndon Apple could have been this. I thought it could have been close. So it's not been a 50-50 kind of thing. Yeah. So what does that tell yourself? Yeah. And look, come on, the whole population, yeah, what was watching the fight, the whole social media that's seeing the fight, is not wrong. And the more you say and go on about it, it doesn't look good. It doesn't make you look good. Yeah. And sometimes, look, we don't like to lose. Nobody likes to lose. I don't like to lose. Sometimes I have to accept a loss in order to get better. My nephew Zelfa had his first defeat against Ronnie Clark. Yeah. But I'll tell you something. It's made him a 10 times better fighter. Yeah. It's like Uncle Pat never get beat again. He trains hard, or even just now, he was just in the kitchen working on a little move that I give him so he can master it, so he can go in the gym and take it. He doesn't go out, he's in the room. He lives with it now in the apartment. He does everything so perfect. Yeah, I'm so proud of these two kids. It's like, wow, not just these kids, all the other kids that are coming through, but just because these two are my family and I've had them, I've known them all my life from babies. You know, it makes me feel on top of the world. It makes me can't wait to go in that gym tomorrow. Can't wait to open it up. Can't wait to crack on with the other kids that I've got, because these two have made my life easier, because these are the front ones and everybody watching them. I don't treat nobody no different. We're all equal. We all get treated the same. But these two kids are outstanding.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I think we've done it. You know, I think we've done it. I think you've answered every question that was thrown at you. And I think the overall, well, what I'm getting from it, the impression I'm getting from it, is that what you're saying ultimately is put some respect on the guy's name. He came. You both got 2 hands, 2 feet, 1 head, 2 eyes, etc., etc. You strapped them on. You put the gloves on, and one man emerged victorious, one-handed.
Yeah, that's it. And that's all they got to say. Look, people look at him as a better man to say, you know what, yeah, Anthony, you know what, good on you. But when you're going around and you know, like I said, I'm not saying anything negative towards it, but you know, boxing's a sport, man, and it's a fair thing, and it was not to do with whoever made the decision. If we would have lost, we would have had to accept it. We wouldn't have said, oh, well, the haters, you know, this was the robbery, this was this. I would have said, you know what, Lyndon, we're back to the drawing board, son. Yeah. And I guarantee you'll get your time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%. And Pat Barratt, the Black Flash, we haven't forgotten you. And personally, from a personal perspective, it's just good. I feel it's just good for me to see a guy I used to watch on TV back in the day now has made the transition, because not all boxers make the transition. Not all boxers make the transition from boxer to trainer, promoter, manager, and you're not slurring your words either. You're not slurring your words. The Black Flash. The Black Flash. You ain't slurring your words.
1 minute.
Yeah, you're not.
This is the one here.
Yeah, bring him in.
Boy, this is my boy. This is the Brown Flash.
Bring him in, the Brown Flash.
This is the Brown Flash.
Yes, my friend. Yeah, good to see you. That was Zelfa. Was that Zelfa? Yeah, that was Zelfa. Okay, a Commonwealth.
That's my boy, man. That's my boy, man.
Yeah, man, coming up.
Commonwealth.
Wow. Yeah, it's good to see, you know, a guy I used to watch on TV back in the day make the transition. And, you know, you're coming up with champions, man. You're breeding champions. So I think this wraps this one up. But, Pat, I still want to talk to you another time. I want to talk to you about your career. We want to go take me down memory lane. Take us down memory lane. Another time. Not this time. Another time. I'd like it.
Now?
No, not now.
You're more than welcome, man.
Not now, but another time.
No, I'm saying you're more than welcome to do that, man.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's fantastic, because it's good to see. It's good. We watched the guy back in the day, thought, you know, it was back then. It's all over now. It's not all over. He's come back, manager, promoter, trainer of champions. But me personally, I like to go back into memory lane. You know, I just watched a documentary. It's called Unfinished Business. No. What was it called? Misunderstood. It's called Misunderstood, and it's by Nicholas Anelka, and it's on Netflix. It's something like 1.5 hour documentary, and he just takes you behind the scenes. You know how he was misunderstood. Just gives you a behind the scenes picture of his career, and I find that stuff fascinating. When somebody who's done it got to where you got to, which was a British champion, European champion, take us back down memory lane, so we can kind of relive that shiznix. You know what I'm saying? The Black Flash, Pat Barratt. You've answered every question. I know it was a good interview because I thoroughly enjoyed it. Good luck going forward. I like your idea. Build the fighter, build Lyndon, Arthur, build him up. You know, you ain't got to be rushed. You ain't got to be rushed into anything. Build him up. One step on the ladder at a time. It's a sensible approach. And I think on behalf of me and everyone here, all I can do is say much thanks to the Black Flash. Dropped it on him the last minute. He said, all right, let's go. Let's do it. Let's go. And, you know, hopefully we provided good education and entertainment. That's what it's about here over Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. Pat Barratt, your final words to the people. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to say to the people before you leave?
I just want to say thank you, and thank you for having me on your station. And you know, just keep looking out for Lyndon after the future, and you're going to see a world champion coming through. As Brian Hughes said, like one of the best light heavyweight, Bob Foster, and he sure is.
Yeah, 100%. That was Pat Barratt, the Black Flash. He's going to come back. He's going to take us down memory lane. And Pat Barratt, salute to you, my friend, and enjoy your victory. One of many, many more to come. Thank you, sir. And we'll speak again very shortly. Thank you. Good night. That was the Black Flash, Pat Barratt. Very much appreciate the Black Flash coming through. Okay, what's the comments here? Appreciate it, Pat. Great interview. Awesome. I totally enjoyed it. Building from the ground up. Best of luck. That's from James Jameson. Pat is a class act. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Fire, hand claps, champagne, and the gold cup. Yeah. Give us the gold cup. We want the gold cup. Okay. Where are we? Great interview. Heinrich Schmitz says yes. And you know, there was other things I was going to talk about. There were other things I was going to talk about tonight, but you know what? I go by feel. And I feel that was just perfect. You know what I'm saying? And when you get to the stage of perfection, perfect flow, I think sometimes it's just best to leave it exactly there. Leave it on a high. That was Pat Barratt, the Black Flash. And this was a boxing talk with Raphie 204. What's this here? Yes. Totally enjoyed that. Great interviewer in Raph and great interviewee in Pat. We got Kenny T. This man talks pure sense. Yeah, talking about the Black Flash, Pat Barratt. Boom. Tyson Fury still ducking. I don't know about that. Funnily enough, funny you mentioned Tyson Fury because Pat Barratt is connected with the Fury family. Pat Barratt and John Fury, Big John, good friends, and I'm gonna let Pat talk about that the next time. Hopefully we get Pat. I'm in contact with Pat now, and don't be surprised if you see the part 2 sooner rather than later. So I should title this Part 1. As a matter of fact, rat-a-tat-tat, am I going to kill it now? No. I'm not going to kill it just yet because there are other things to talk about. I'm just going to touch on. I'm just going to tickle. What's this here? Let me share. I'm just going to tickle another topic. Where are we? Boom, boom, boom. So you should be seeing that now. What's going on? Okay, you should be seeing that now on your screens. And I'm just going to tickle one of these topics. How many topics have I touched? As a matter of fact, do we touch the Spence? Do we touch the Spence thing? Might as well. Hey. Should we touch the Spence thing? Might as well touch the Spence thing. Might as well. I can do this. I can do a few of these topics. I can run through them. Okay, so if we jot that down, then what am I going to say? What are we looking at? Which one are we looking at? Okay, Mayweather versus Logan Paul. Let me bring up Twitter real smooth like, and let me go through this. You can't even see what I can see. You can't see what I can see. So let me change that. Let me alter the equation. Let me do a quick sleight of hand. Drop that down. Stop sharing that and start sharing this. Let's go into Twitter real quick. Boom, boom, boom. So you should be seeing, let's get that. Let's tidy that up. Let's tidy that up a little bit. Okay, so Mayweather. It's just been announced yesterday that Floyd Mayweather will be will be taking part in an exhibition fight with Logan Paul. When is it? February 20th, 2021. It's interesting. Mayweather equals joke. Well, yeah, it's interesting because it's an interesting choice of opponent. Very non-competitive. Logan Paul. Where did he come from? Well, he's a YouTube guy. Logan Paul is a YouTube guy. He's a social media guy who got popular. He got something like 5 million. I think he's got something like 5 million followers. And so he used that. He said he wanted to challenge himself. And he got into boxing and he fought KSI, another guy I'd never heard of, who was also a YouTube guy, social media guy with probably similar or more. I don't know who's got the most followers, but they got millions. These cats have got millions. And if you check out the video, I found out that Logan Paul's got, 5 million on Twitter. And Floyd Mayweather's got something like, it's 6 million, just shy of 6 million. Floyd Mayweather, just shy of 8 million. So it's a no-brainer that these cats are going to bring in some eyes. They're going to bring in some eyeballs on the sport. Not interested in Paul versus Mayweather joke thing. Destroying boxing. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that, but we have to counterbalance that and say, well, these exhibition things, these exhibition fights that have been going on for years, decades. When boxers retire, if they had a big name, it was not unusual to see them on the exhibition scene. So it's not really a new thing. It's just perhaps slightly disappointing, the level of competition. And that is a low level of competition. Most unfortunate. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, so anybody who follows me on Twitter, head on over. I didn't have time to tag everybody, or anybody actually. I just got the post up as quickly as possible because this was a last minute thing. I approached Pat. He said, "Yeah, okay, we'll do it." Last minute, literally came together within an hour or so. So I didn't have time to tag people, but for sure, if you follow me on Twitter, head on over there and hit that like button. And if you want to drop a comment, even better. and let's make sure that this thing gets shared. Fire interview. Let's get this thing shared out. Share it everywhere. Okay. What else is on there? What else do I want to touch on? Okay, I'm going to touch on Joshua Pulev. I think I'm probably going to have to do another show tomorrow sometime. We're going to touch on Joshua Pulev tomorrow. We're going to have a review. We're going to have a review of Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. What else is there? Yeah, those are the two main things. I don't really want to drag this thing out. Mayweather versus Ben Shapiro. Okay. PewDiePie. Farcical. Not interested. Okay. Those are the comments on that Shiz Nicks. Well, you know, I got a sense of timing. And my sense of timing is telling me that this is a nice time to round off the show, to end the show. We've had the Black Flash up in here. We had Spencer Fearon up in here. We had Xavier Miller up in here. It's been a star-studded cast. Good to see the guys show up. Okay, so what else is there left to say? I don't think there's anything left to say other than thank you to everyone for coming through. And yeah, it's a great way to start the show, start the week with Pat Barratt talking about the Anthony Yarde versus Lyndon Arthur. Okay, and congratulations for the victory over Anthony Yarde, Lyndon Arthur. Okay, so what say you? It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. And also, thank you to Freddie Mars for the very, very kind gesture. And that wraps up the Raphael Dawkins, the Combat Radio. It's the like. It's the subscribe. It's the comments. It's the shares. And it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And don't forget about the live show, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9 p.m. UK time. Okay, that wraps it up. All that's left for me to say is blessed.